What if I told you that some billionaires legally pay little or sometimes no federal income tax? Not because they broke the law, not because they cheated, but because the system was designed that way. For decades, politicians, economists, and media outlets have argued about whether the wealthy pay their fair share. But buried inside thousands of pages of tax legislation lies a reality few people understand. The tax code isn't simply a collection of taxes, it's a giant incentive system, a government playbook, a blueprint that rewards certain behaviors while discouraging others. And once you understand this hidden system, you'll never look at taxes the same way again. Most people think taxes exist simply to raise revenue, but governments use taxes for something else entirely: behavior modification. They use the tax code to encourage the activities they want more of. Build housing, tax break. Invest in businesses, tax break. Create jobs, tax break. Develop renewable energy, tax break. Fund innovation, tax break. The code is designed to reward this progress. The tax code is less a punishment system and more a giant rewards program. Here is the distinction most people miss. Employees earn income. Entrepreneurs create and manage complex business systems. Investors allocate capital to the most promising opportunities. Governments view these activities differently because the risks are different. When a founder risks millions building a company, governments often reward that risk because successful businesses create jobs, innovation, and future tax revenue. The logic is simple. Reward risk-taking today. Collect larger economic benefits tomorrow. When a company builds a massive factory, the government isn't only looking at the owner's tax bill, it's looking at the entire economic ecosystem. Workers get jobs, suppliers get contracts, cities receive investment, property values rise, local businesses grow. From the government's perspective, the tax incentive may generate far more economic activity than the tax revenue it gives up. But this is where the debate becomes controversial, because critics argue the system is no longer producing the outcomes it promised. If tax incentives create growth for everyone, why has wealth become increasingly concentrated? Why are corporate profits soaring while wages often struggle to keep pace? Why does economic growth sometimes feel disconnected from everyday life? Some economists argue that giving tax relief directly to middle-income households stimulates more spending because ordinary people spend immediately. Others argue investment-driven growth remains the best path to prosperity. Both sides have evidence. Both sides have weaknesses. And that's why the debate remains unresolved. So perhaps the real question isn't whether the wealthy are following the rules. Most are. They are simply following the rules of the system. The deeper question is whether the rules themselves are producing the society we want. Should governments reward investment above all else? Or should more incentives flow directly to workers and consumers? The answer shapes every economy on Earth, and it affects far more than taxes. It affects jobs, innovation, opportunity, and ultimately who gets to build wealth. Is the tax code a powerful economic engine that rewards risk and drives growth? Or has it become a legal advantage for those already at the top? Tell me in the comments. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into money, power, and economics, subscribe for more videos that reveal how the system really works. Next, watch my breakdown of how wealthy investors legally use real estate to dramatically reduce their tax burden. Trust me, that story is even more surprising.